Have you ever noticed that a woman's body can be screaming what she feels, but you just don't understand it? How many times have you been paralyzed by a seemingly random gesture, a touch of the hair, a look that lasted half a second, a seemingly innocent crossing of the legs, and deep down, felt that it meant something deeper, more emotional, more intimate? The truth is that the female body is an emotional map, and only emotionally intelligent men can decipher the hidden signals it transmits. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about here. In the universe of feminine psychology applied to attraction, her every move could be a code. But most men ignore it or misinterpret it, and end up being seen as just another guy. You're not here to be just another guy. You're here to stand out, to become that guy she feel, even when you say nothing. The man who understands nonverbal cues, who recognizes her body language, and knows exactly how to react in an emotionally strategic way. In this video, I'll show you the 11 body signals that women give off when they're interested, vulnerable, or deeply connected, even without saying a single word. These signals are invisible to the average man, but if you pay attention, you'll notice that they reveal what's hidden behind the smile, the silence, and even the distance. But before continuing, he answers me. Are you ready to see what 93% of men can't see? Because from here on, every detail matters, and when you understand that, everything changes. If what I'm revealing to you here is already opening your eyes, imagine what will happen when you master all 11 body signals and know exactly how to react to each one of them with emotional precision. This knowledge is not for everyone. It's for men who have chosen to play the game of attraction consciously, strategically, and with depth. Here, you are no longer a lost soul trying to decipher female behavior. You are part of a community that understands that true attraction is born from subtle reading, from invisible touch, from the silent presence that creates impact. And if you feel like you're on the right track, prove it now in the comments. Right there. I act with emotional intelligence, or I'm the man she feels before she even touches me. These phrases are not just words, they are declarations of those who are part of this brotherhood. Men who do not follow shallow advice, but immerse themselves in unfiltered female psychology to conquer with intention, and not by chance. And of course, if you feel that this content provokes you, transforms you, and pushes you to a new level of understanding, then like this video now and subscribe to the channel. This is just the beginning. With each new video, you will accumulate emotional tools that will not only change your results with women, but that over time will influence your self-confidence, your social value, and yes, your financial reality. Because when you understand how they work, the world starts to work differently for you too. And when you start to see what's behind every movement, everything changes. Because the truth is that a woman's body is never silent. It speaks all the time. While she says, "I'm busy" with her mouth, her eyes may be saying, "Stay a little longer." While she crosses her arms, she may be revealing insecurity, not rejection. And that's where the difference between a man who dominates the world comes in. Feminine psychology applied to attraction and relationships. He doesn't react like an amateur. He understands what's going on and acts with emotional strategy, with presence and with a subtle reading that most people don't even imagine exists. With each new sign you learn to recognize, you become more confident, more magnetic, and less hostage to doubt. That's how you start to turn the tables. Because while others are lost trying to decipher what she meant by nothing, you already understood everything from the way she moved. This gives you power. Power of choice, power of action, and most importantly, power of connection. And this type of man, the one who truly understands female body language and knows how to apply it in practice, is rare. That's why if you're here, it's not by chance. You're part of a select group of men who are willing to evolve emotionally, strategically, and profoundly. Now prove it to me in the comments. Right, I act with emotional reading, or she feels me without me saying a word. These phrases show that you understand the IB code and that you are committed to this transformation. And of course, if you haven't done so yet, like the video and subscribe to the channel now, because this journey is just beginning. These 11 signs are more than just movements. They are emotional codes, silent messages that a woman conveys without saying a single word. And the most impressive thing is that when you learn to identify them, you gain direct access to what she is feeling inside, even when she pretends not to feel anything. From now on, every look, every touch, every change in tone of voice or posture will no longer be a mystery. You will no longer ask yourself, what did she mean by that? You will know, with clarity, with confidence, with emotional control. Because unfiltered female psychology, when applied intelligently, completely transforms the way you position yourself in front of a woman. It's as if you start to see layers that were always there, but that only emotionally strategic men can perceive. And it's not just about winning her over. It's about creating a kind of presence that makes her remember you even when you're not around. A presence that makes an impression, that activates desire, that arouses curiosity. You stop being the predictable, anxious, or confused guy and become the man she respects, admires, and feels. All this just by understanding and applying these 11 signs. If this makes sense to you, comment below. I see beyond what she shows, or I understand what she feels in silence. And of course, like the video now and subscribe to the channel. This change starts with small steps, and the next one is the most important. One of the most memorable moments I heard came from a follower of the channel. He told me that he was sitting with a woman he had liked for a long time. The conversation was flowing, but he still felt insecure, unsure if she was really interested or just being nice. Until, at a certain point, she looked directly into his eyes, subtly bit her lip, and slowly crossed her legs in an almost cinematic way. He froze. He felt that there was something there, but he couldn't react. He didn't know how to interpret it. Later, when she walked away and never opened up again, he realized that gesture was a silent invitation, a test, and he didn't know how to pass. This type of situation is more common than you might think, because the female body speaks before the woman takes any verbal action. She tests, provokes, measures the impact you cause, and that's exactly where the power of feminine psychology applied to attraction and relationships. Decipher the unsaid, perceive the signs before they are lost in silence. Ordinary men think they have to wait for clear words, explicit declarations. But the men who stand out are those who learn to read the environment, the tone of voice, the body language, the rhythm of breathing, the touch of their hair, the look that looks away at the right moment. These are small details that, when ignored, make you miss the chance to connect with her on a deep and emotional level. So, if you have ever been through something similar, comment now, "I don't miss signals anymore," or "I know when she wants me." Leave this recorded below and show that you are part of those who are learning to play at the highest emotional level. And now it all starts to make even more sense, because if you've come this far, it's because you're ready to see what other men ignore every day. And it's not out of bad intention. It's because of a lack of emotional and psychological knowledge. Women test you subtly, through gestures, behaviors, and signs that are visible, but only to those with a trained eye. Let's start with one of the most classic, and at the same time most misinterpreted: unconsciously touching your hair. When she runs her fingers through her hair, curls the ends, or straightens her hair while talking to you, it's rarely just a nervous tick. Most of the time, this behavior occurs when she's emotionally exposed. It could be vulnerability, desire, or the need to reaffirm her own value in your presence. In other words, she's evaluating herself with your eyes, worrying about the impact she's having on you. This doesn't happen with just any man. It happens when your emotional presence affects her field. Another revealing detail is the positioning of the feet during the conversation. Few men pay attention to this, but the most honest body language starts at the extremity, when her feet are facing directly towards you. Even if her body is slightly turned, this indicates emotional attention, real interest, openness to connection. Now, if her feet are facing the door or away from your presence, it means emotional avoidance. She is there physically, but emotionally trying to get away. This is a silent signal that intelligent men, who have mastered the art of communication, are aware of. Strategic feminine psychology, they know how to interpret it right away. And there's more. The sudden sparkle in her eyes. You know that moment when you say something and, suddenly, her eyes seem to light up? This happens when you touch on something that resonates with her emotional world. It's involuntary. It's as if an emotional memory is activated, or a silent desire takes center stage. This sparkle is one of the purest forms of unconscious emotional response. A woman may even try to hide it with words, but her eyes betray it. And if you know how to recognize this moment, you can gain emotional control of the situation without having to force anything. Another powerful pattern is body mirroring. This happens when she starts to mimic your gestures, posture, the way you hold your glass, the way you cross your arms, or even the tone of your voice. It's her body trying to align itself with yours, unconsciously, as if to say, "I want to be in tune with you." This is one of the strongest signs of true emotional connection, and men who can recognize it have an advantage, because they can deepen the connection at the right moment, with the right attitude. And finally, one of the most insidious but most revealing signs, the accidental micro-touch. You know when she quickly touches your arm, shoulder, or even your knee, lightly, as if she didn't mean anything? This is rarely an accident. This touch is a test, an emotional experiment. She wants to know how you react to her touch. If you seem insecure, she understands that you are not emotionally ready. If you respond naturally and firmly, she feels that she is in front of someone who not only understood the gesture, but knew how to validate it with presence. Now that you realize how much strategic and emotional value these signals have, I want to see you active here in the comments. Write, "I interpret what her body hides," or "I react with emotional intelligence." These phrases show that you are not here just passing through, but are part of those who are committed to understanding the secret language of attraction based on unfiltered female psychology. Leave your comment now and stay with me, because the next part will take you even deeper into this universe that few have the courage to explore. Now, there is a sign that most men completely despise, but which carries immense emotional power: the sigh during silence. You know that moment when the conversation stops for a few seconds and suddenly, she lets out a deep sigh and looks away? Many think it is boredom, disinterest, or even a desire to leave. But who knows the feminine psychology applied to attraction and relationships? You know that the meaning is different. When a woman sighs like this, she is trying to process something inside her, something that you provoked. It could have been a phrase, a gesture, your energy, or simply the way you made her feel at that moment. This type of sigh is a defense. She is trying to hide from herself the emotional intensity that has arisen, because feeling something real for a man causes internal conflict, even more so when she did not expect to feel it. This is one of the most difficult signs to interpret because it seems subtle and unpretentious. But in reality, it is a window, an emotional opening where you have the chance to create an even deeper connection, as long as you know how to recognize the right moment. Ordinary men miss this moment because they are distracted by what they are going to say next. Intelligent men, who study female behavior, observe, and more than observing, they respect the silence, because they understand that something valuable is being born inside it. If you have ever noticed this type of reaction in a woman and only now realized what was really happening, comment below. I see what she feels in the silence, or I create emotional impact without words. Write that in the comments now, because we're going to go into much more depth. Now that you have learned to recognize these hidden signals that the female body effortlessly emits, you are no longer the same man you were before. You have gone from being someone who observes with doubt to someone who sees clearly. Because when you understand the small gestures, the unconscious touches, the averted glances, the mirroring, the positioning of the feet, and even the silent sigh during silence, you access a level of emotional perception that few men reach. This knowledge transforms the way you connect. And more than that, it gives you a strategic advantage in interactions. But be careful. Recognizing the signs is only the first step. Real change begins when you know exactly how to react to each sign, with confidence, with emotional control, and with a posture that provokes in her an involuntary desire to connect even more with you. In the next video, I'll show you how to respond to these signals in the right way, because each of her gestures, when interpreted correctly, offers you an opportunity. And knowing how to act when faced with these opportunities is what separates the ignored man from the man who leaves deep marks on the female mind and heart. It's not enough to realize that she's testing you. You need to know how to pass these emotional tests naturally and magnetically. We are going to enter a more advanced territory, where your strategic behavior will awaken something much stronger in her than simple interest. If this content is stirring your perception, and you feel that you are finally understanding how unfiltered female psychology it really works, so write in the comments now, "I act at the right time," or "I'm the man she won't forget." This proves that you are ready for the next step. If this video has already opened your eyes to the silent and powerful universe of female body language, imagine what will happen when you are able to interpret not only what she does, but mainly what she doesn't do. Her silence is not empty. It is filled with emotions that she herself tries to hide. And it is in this invisible space that the true game of attraction takes place. While many men wait for direct declarations, you will learn to see what is beyond the words, to touch her emotional side even without saying a word. And that, my brother, is what separates the ordinary from the unforgettable. Because when a man understands what a woman's silence means, he begins to have an emotional influence over her that no other has. In the next few minutes, you will discover exactly how to react to each gesture, each pause, each emotional test. You will learn to provoke the right triggers with the right intensity and at the right moment, so that she feels, desires, and seeks you, not because you begged for attention, but because you knew how to position yourself as a man who understands, who reads, who feels. If all this is already making sense, comment here. I even understand her silence, or she seeks me out because I know how to position myself. And if you haven't done so yet, like the video and subscribe to the channel now, because the next step is waiting for you, and it can completely change the way you connect with any woman. Click on the next video and continue with me on this journey of emotional transformation.